Let's tackle long avoided rebottling, mixing, bedazzling, and DIYing. Hi, welcome to the Art App, and today I am in a spring beauty chores day. I have accumulated a lot of small things that usually I don't have time to do. So today is the day. Let's start with something simple, like Laura Mercier caviar stick. I have officially hit the rim of the tube, so technically I can call it a day, but obviously I won't. This is one of the most crease-proof eyeshadow formulas in my collection, and I just love the taupey shade that complements my eyes a lot. Also, it is my go-to choice for easy one-and-done looks. So instead, I decided to depot it in a smaller container. Now, actually, this is a coin container, but it works perfectly for tiny bits of products. It won't let in too much air, so the product won't dry out, unlike if it's in the bigger container. So I think I still have at least like 10 more uses, so it is definitely worth digging out. So now when we have finished with that part, let's start with something a little bit more exciting, like DIYing our own liquid blushes. I've been so much into it lately because I love layering blushes, and for that I usually opt for something that is in between the bronzer and blush, color-wise. And for that I have to create my own thing. And also one more advantage of creating your own blushes is since they are, like in my case, foundation based, they won't set immediately and you will have a ton of time to blend them. For today's mix, I need an eyeshadow I wouldn't normally reach for. Something that is a little too warm or too red for my usual eye looks. Sienna from ABH seems like a perfect choice. I want this to have a dewy finish, so I'm mixing in my Wet n Wild Dewy Foundation and a little bit of L'Oreal Glotion for extra glow. Also, I added here a little bit of my leftover samples from different Sephora purchases because I need to use them up somehow, and a little bit of more grayish foundation to tone down the redness just a little bit. And in the end, this is the shade that I got. I think it's perfect for layering. I love this kind of DIYs because not only will you create a blush that is totally customizable and super easy to blend, but also you will use the eyeshadows that you won't reach for on a regular basis and get much more excitement and much more joy out of your collection. We have officially moved to the bedazzling section. I think you've already seen my video on how to create your own magnetic eyeshadow palette. This is the one that I have created, my very first one, and it currently holds all of my Cliona eyeshadows. And back in November, when there was sale, I got a beautiful set of singles from Divina Cosmetics. And I really wanted for them to have their own eyeshadow magnetic palette. So I decided to make yet another one, but this time I did something different. I didn't use the hot glue to stick the magnet to the bottom of the container. Instead, I use E6000, and trust me, it makes the huge difference. Hot glue tends to dry into thick blobs, meaning that the magnet sticks only in some places. So if you put too much of it, the surface will get very bumpy and the magnet strips can poke out. But if you use E6000 or any other reliable liquid glue, the surface will get very even and sturdy. Just make sure that you work in a well-ventilated area and you let your glue set for at least 48 hours before putting your eyeshadows in the container. And then the time has come to bedazzle that palette. I pulled out some rhinestones from Dollar Tree and just zoned out. Imagine listening to your favorite music or podcast while decorating a palette. It was so relaxing. And now, every time I open my drawer, these sparkly palettes make me so happy. I think there has been at least 2 years since I did this palette and it's still holding pretty well. Even though some rhinestones did fall off, but I just glued them back and obviously added some more. This is such a great affordable DIY. You only need a sturdy metallic maybe not metallic, just a sturdy container with a lid and some metallic strips. And that's all. Quick question. Does anyone know how to use this spatula from Wet n Wild foundation? Because I don't. Are you supposed to swipe it all over your face because you don't have here a pump or a doll foot applicator? Because if yes, I don't think it's quite hygienic. At first, I thought that maybe you should apply it directly on your brush, but I don't want to put it back. Or maybe you need to use a mixing palette, but this is something to buy if a person doesn't have it. And it's like too much hassle. I want my foundation to be easy and effortless. So I decided to rebottle it into the container that has a pump. I have thoroughly cleaned it, used a funnel, and just poured the foundation into this container. Was it worth it? Definitely yes. No stress, no mess, just pump it. I used this shade only for my eyebrows, and this is how deep the pan got. So this is a perfect taupish gray that makes my brows look very, very natural, not too overpowering. And I thought, since I'm using the eyeshadow to fill in my brows, why not to maybe create something similar? Because in my eyeshadow project pan, I have some eyeshadows that I use very rarely. So why not mix them up? And that's what I did. Though in the long run, it turned out to be slightly too warm for my liking, but I doubt you won't notice that. And that's it for today. I'm so happy to finally check off all those small chores off my to-do list, especially rebottling the foundation and creating my custom blush. I've been looking so forward to all of them. What about you? Are you in a spring cleaning mode? If yes, what DIY projects or chores have you planned? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I'll see you next time. Bye!